Hello. Well, hopefully this works. I've been having trouble with sound, YouTube. Ugh. If I can't get this recorded, I just have to go to Facebook and read what I've written about when you get stopped by the law enforcement. In any city, okay? Especially the cities that are really tough and mean, abusive, and tend to kill their people that they just pull over. Act as if it's a riot. Okay, so you get pulled over. Don't smoke around a cop. They'll find a reason to pick on you. Put the cigarette out before he even gets to your window. Get your insurance card ready. Get your driver's license ready. Hand it to him nicely and say, "Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, officer." He will then say whatever violation you had. You didn't have your turn signal on. You were doing 10 miles over the speed limit, blah, 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 blah. And you say, I did. I'm really sorry. I didn't even notice. I have so much on my mind. I really do. Yes, sir. No, sir. Do you have any violations? No, sir. Do you have any warrants? No, sir. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? No or yes. And be honest, because they're going to run your plates. They always run the plates. Now, if you decide to not do that because you have your rights, and you do, they will hurt you. They will tell you to get out of the car. Don't refuse. Please get out. They will ask you, "Can I search your car?" And by the way, always say no. I don't care what the circumstances are. Always say no. You do not search the car. Now, it's going to search the car anyway, and that's fine. You can bring it up in court to your PD, your public defender, or if you can afford it, a regular attorney. Take everything you can in a list and say, "This is what was said." And make out a form. While it's fresh in your mind, write it down when you get home. Make a complaint. You do what you need to do, but do not confront that officer about a speeding ticket, about not having your signal on, because I've got news for you. No matter who you are, they will make a big deal out of it. I have yet to see one that hasn't. Now, some of you who live in the smaller towns, it just doesn't happen. Maybe it does. You got more corruption in the smaller towns, they're able to. But you also have a little bit more friendly Andy Griffith kind of thing going, too. I mean, it can go either way in a smaller town. But in a large city, there's a lot of cops, those big cop shops. And they tend to cover for each other. And they do. You Seattleites do you remember the young girl they beat the hell out of? If the camera hadn't been going, nobody would have noticed. Nobody would have believed her. She is a juvenile. You know? An underage girl. And those cops decided they'll just manhandle this child and throw her around. And they did. Everything is yes sir, no sir. Never smoke in front of a cop, never cuss in front of a cop, never spit in front of a cop, and don't fart. I mean it. Don't argue with your mate in front of the cop. The cop doesn't want to hear it. He'll take one of you in for domestic violence for saying shit. Don't ever touch an officer's shoulder. Like, I didn't say that. You know that. He'll get you for assault. I'm not even kidding. Push, shove, don't do it. He'll shove and push you and say that he was shoved and pushed. I've got news for you, because they do. If you walk away from an officer, they're going to get you for other things. And they'll just make the list super long if they take you to jail and practically break your arms putting you either in the plastic ties or real cuffs. And they will. Got a broken rib from being arrested? Prove it. You have to have either a public defender or an attorney. Tell your PD. If your PD doesn't do anything, ask for another PD. You have rights, and you do. And if you're up to it, and if you're savvy enough, you can always do your stuff yourself. But you have to keep your paperwork. It has to be written in black or blue, preferably typed. Don't use a red pen or a pencil. Black or blue pen. Pay your fines on time if you are fined, or the judge decides that you are to be fined. Do it. Pay that fine on time. Because if you don't, the day after, and if this cop remembers, happens to remember, he'll find you and arrest you again. Yes, cops have been known to plant dope. Hard stuff. It's legal now here in Washington State to have pot. Cops are too busy to really harass you about that, so, that they can plant other things like cocaine or ill-gotten gains. And it's not yours. You've never seen it before. And don't, no pun intended, don't cop to anything. Okay? Quiet. You have the right to remain silent. Do. I don't care if you are the mass confessor of all the universe and you feel you have to confess every little flaw in your life. Say nothing. Nothing. They'll try to get you to talk. I take the fifth. I take the fifth. I take the fifth. Say it nicely. Don't cry. Never cry. They get off on that. Believe me. You need meds? Good luck. You're not going to get them in jail. They'll give you maybe a little dose 24 hours later when you're released. Be careful. Be kind to your fellow police officer. Don't carry any knives in your car or chains. That sounds weird, but, If you have a carry permit, make sure that the carry permit is obvious on your windshield or on your dashboard where the officer can see it. Never say no, except for a search. I don't want them in my car. I have nothing in my car for them to even want to even take. But I learned a long time ago. People are so damn strange. And they're people and they're human and they get off on a trip and they make $40,000, $50,000 a year. And I'm telling you, a cop doesn't make enough to be acting this way. Now, if they keep on staying, in the department, they can retire pretty good. So. Good to some. It's terrible to me. I don't think it's worth being a cop. But that ego is a big thing. And you remember that when you get pulled over, you get stopped on the sidewalk because you might be drunk. And because you're drunk, the officer will say, "What are you doing walking around drunk?" "Because I didn't want to drive my car, sir. I'm walking home." You know they can arrest you for walking and being inebriated or stoned. And they will. I know many people who have been pulled over walking. Quota's a quota. I want you to remember that, guys. Your friends smoking pot or doing drugs? Nothing's on you. You have nothing. Guilt by association. He'll arrest you along with everybody else. And 9 out of 10, it's weird, but the guy that wasn't even doing it gets the biggest fines. Don't believe me? Goes to the back and starts sitting there and asking for case files. They don't bury those. Maybe they do. It's part of the public. You have a right to see anything you want. I know it seems like, God, woman, are you kidding? No, I'm not kidding at all. I wish I were. Because if I were or was, a woman wouldn't have committed suicide. Somebody would have bailed her out. 5,000 bail. It'd been $500. $500. I don't know what the problem was, but that was pretty cold. Maybe she had some problems. Maybe she was rude. Maybe she was screaming. Maybe she was fighting. Maybe she was a lot of things. But I got news for you. He did touch her. I looked over a fifth film before I made this vid. Didn't see that. So, we got a dead woman. We don't know why she committed suicide. Over a blinker? Turn signal? Depression, maybe? You have a lot of things. I mean, we all have our own junk, right? No, I do. I've got a lot of bad health issues, and maybe she did too. Maybe she had a lot of, just issues. I mean, everybody has issues. I don't care what it is. As a collective, we can do something about our government. We can do something about our police force and our local police forces. We can't do it there when we're there at the moment with one-on-one with a cop and you have a load of people in the car. It doesn't matter. You tell them to shut up. He'll pull everybody out of that car. Someone can get hurt. It's not worth it. Black, white, Mexican, Asian. It's not worth it. Go to court. Make a complaint about the cop. Make a complaint to the court, to the the cop shop. You make complaints after you're away from the situation. Please. I really beg you, please. Be calm at all times. Don't scream, don't yell. And it's going to be hard. And like I said, don't point. I'll consider that smacking a cop. Pointing? So, I did a long list on Facebook. I think they'll let you breathe. I'm really sorry about that young man. The rest of you. Stay well. Please.